Well, I shared it to a lot of different places tonight, so hopefully.
Oh, I see it. What coming
Hopefully,
up? Which one?
um,
Oh, there's a map. The Grinch's Cave. Say no more. I'm sorry, I just got sidetracked. Like what? In Boulder, Utah. You don't guess where it's at.
I thought Boulder was in Colorado, but
This says Boulder. Well, they got the same towns in all the states.
I know there's Paris, Tennessee.
Yeah. So. Oh.
So yeah, we'll have to talk about Great American tonight.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So we got 2 people.
4 people. Boom. Say hi.
4. Hello.
Multiplying grits.
Let's see if I can actually.
I missed everybody last week. Last week was a little bizarre for everybody. You know.
Oh, 6 people. We're rolling. Yeah, I like the emails I get that say I'm live on YouTube.
And you have to remind me some things.
Huh?
I was like, and you always say it so that I have to think about it. Luckily, I have like the memory of like Dory. I'm like, especially today, I am awful. And yesterday, my poor club, my poor chapter. Oh, I talked to you too. Yeah, you go through that. It's been stressful. I don't know what to say.
Well, half the people left and some are coming back. Oh, there they are. It happened right when I said to put the little banner up to go to the Craft Whisker Club page. So maybe they all left and back. All right. So everybody, welcome. And let's see. Tonight is what are we doing? My brain is tired. So welcome to the Craft Whisker Club show. Who are we? What are we doing here?
Just along for the ride.
Oh, let's see. I can't even drink alcohol. I'll blame it on that. But so I'm Tisha Clinkenbeard. I'm the president of the Craft Whisker Club. Also a member of Beer Mom North Texas and Austin Facial Hair Club. Got to give them a shout out tonight. So, and then my cohort in crime.
Me. Yeah. And I'm in a mood tonight, so sorry. I'm Summer, and I'm the vice president of the Craft Whisker Club, and I am vice president of Beer Mom North Texas.
And like I said, my cohort in crime most times.
Well, they're getting the point in the right direction.
I know you're over there. You're at the window. Like if you were peeking in the window over here, which you probably couldn't because there's bushes. But
yeah, and I'm not fixing to mess with that.
Yeah, so they're not prickly, but well. So let's see.
So everybody say hi. We see.
Yeah.
Hey.
We
Sorry I missed you last week.
We let's see, what did we do? This weekend was a comp in
Richmond, Virginia.
Yes, Richmond, RVA, which they usually throw a pretty good deal. So we weren't able to get in touch with the winners. They were of the smaller, shorter sort under.
Actually, I saw a picture and 2 were taller than the adult. I just want to say.
Well, the adult's pretty short.
I know, but I had to point out 2
that doesn't
were taller than her.
So Natalie Johnston competed along with some other beings that were, well, younger. Some children, youth. Yeah, that's a good word. So we weren't able to get in touch with everybody, and one of our goals is to have some of the younger folks on the show someday, and so we have to go through parents and get permission and get in touch with them, etc. So we weren't quite able to turn it around in that quick a time period. So one day we're gonna, one of our hopes is to have a kids show. So I'll just call them kids. That's what they are. They're not goats, but they're kids.
Well, most people don't do the whole farm life. So when you say kids, the majority of us are going to think actually children. So it's okay.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about that, I actually had a calf that he looked like a goat in the face. He really did. So he got named Kid.
Oh, goodness.
I know.
My conversations with you and with Carrie Lynn are about the same. She asked me if I wanted to house a hound. I said, no. As soon as it started, no, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah. I would, except we have one that's a little possessive. She thinks, "Oh, my toy," and doesn't want to share. So
No.
that doesn't really work. We have to keep them all separated. If you haven't seen our daughter's dog Riker, he is an Aussie Corgi, and see, we're just completely blowing. We're becoming What Up Mob Wednesday, I think. But maybe. But so he's got these huge ears, and when he was a puppy, he didn't have the big ears, and then all of a sudden his ears just, and he's a sweetie. He likes me. He comes, if he sees me, he comes running over to me. So that's a good thing. But I can't babysit because Scout does not like to share her toys, and she thinks, "Oh,
animal problems."
Yeah, so we don't get to do that. Well, since we're just kind of, off topic tonight, we're going to bring on Mandee, and I think it's Walton, and forgive me, you can correct me, Mandee, if when we bring you on, I have it wrong. She actually competed in Salt Lake City and placed, and she wasn't able to be on last weekend, so we brought her last week, not weekend. So we brought her on today. And so she's totally new to bearding, I believe. We'll let her tell a little about herself so you guys don't be too hard on her. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on here. So hi, Mandee. Did I get it right? Is it Walton?
Yep, just like Walmart's.
Oh, soon I'm old enough. I'm thinking like the Waltons.
I know.
Well, my husband is 9 years older than me, and so we go a lot of places, and he gets the John Boy thing. he gets that all the time, but thankfully it's only my married name, so people don't have the nerve to say it to me.
Well, I mean, totally off base too. Somebody told me the other day that the granny her name was like Michael, because we were having this conversation about Michael versus Michelle and male and female. Anyway, so that's totally off base. Anyway, so Mandee, why don't you tell us a little about yourself and kind of how you ended up at the competition competing?
I am a health and wellness coach. But above that, I am a retired Army veteran. And that's kind of how my connection to the whole bearding thing is. I belong to an organization, veterans organization here in Utah called Continue Mission. And one of the beardsmen groups, I don't know the whole beard lingo, so forgive me.
Probably a beard club will help you out on that one.
Yeah, they do a fundraiser for Continue Mission, and it's the Unknown Beardsmen do a competition, and they raise money for Continue Mission. And we are so thankful because we have so many organizations that do things for us, and I'm so grateful for what Continue Mission does. I try to support those that support us. That being said, I'm also totally about being crafty and silly and whatever. And so in the past I've gone and I haven't really put much effort into it, or I haven't really, and this year I kind of, even though I was in the midst of my last term of my master's degree, I decided I was going all out. So apparently I didn't go all the way out because I only placed second, but that just leaves room for improvement.
Oh, you definitely a great
So,
job though.
First time to compete and
Mhm.
place second.
yeah. It was a lot of fun. Like, I mean, because I see what other people bring, and I'm like, man, I could have done that, and this is how I could have made it better.
Right.
I'm like, and I
Exactly.
have had this idea for one, probably the last 3 years, because well, not counting COVID years, but the last 3 years that I've gone to the Unknown Beardsman competition, I've had this idea, and I've been too like nervous to try to pull it off. And I think getting second place was just what I needed to push me over the edge of like, I'm doing it. I don't care. So, my poor husband, he's not a very like he's not an attention getter, and but I am, so he just suffers.
You make up for him.
He's supportive, but he suffers. So it was a lot of fun. I really what I loved about the whole beard competition is how it is so friendly. Like, I had guys coming up and talking to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, don't you think I'm dumb or a nerd or like and the guys were more impressed with what I did than their own beards. So
Yeah.
I was like, well, okay. So I just think it's neat. I didn't realize either like that there was such a huge I mean, you guys are talking about coming to Utah just for a beard competition and I know that some of my friends travel to like California and stuff. So I'm kind of just really interested in this whole like world.
And it really it kind of is its own world, in that respect, because it is all over the world.
Yeah.
They just announced that next year the world competition is in Germany. So we're
Now
waiting
you choose to
anxiously.
go.
We're waiting anxiously to find out actually when it will be, because um, so that's one of the really huge events that we have. And you were talking about, there's another one in Salt Lake. It's the Great American, which we'll talk about a little bit tonight. But basically for the US, and you guys tell me your opinions in the comments or summer or whatever, but for the US, our I think the yearly one is nationals. It's one of the big deals because it's every year and it's kind of a national title. And then Great American is every other year, and again it's along that same well, it is on that same level. It's
It is
really,
the same level. Like they're both like the top competitions to go to.
yeah,
Right.
nationally. And then of course Worlds is every opposite year of Great American.
Great American.
And it requires that it be in Europe every other competition. So every 4 years it has to be somewhere in Europe. So it started there, and then it's kind of kept that throughout the years. So Austin had it in 17. Belgium had it in 19. They didn't have it in 21 because of COVID, and then 23 is going to be Germany. So those are kind of the biggies. Now, with kind of under that layer are some of the biggie competitions throughout the U.S. that are the larger audience, the larger group, the ones people just kind of flock to, because there are competitions. Right before COVID, there was pretty much a competition every weekend, and actually we're back to that. If you go to thebeardcalendar.com, you'll see that we're pretty much back to a competition every weekend. I think when I made our calendar for the show here, there was 2 or 3 Mondays that we didn't have a comp the weekend before. So
down to December 3rd.
yeah. Yes, and we'll talk about that too, perhaps.
Shameless plug.
So,
Yeah.
Well, I love that they get the women involved as well.
yeah, and there was kind of historical, and I was not involved, but in the I would say mid to late teens, there was a group of kind of the group of Whiskerinas that perhaps were, I don't know, leading edge. I'm not quite sure how to describe them, and it kind of died out, and then that's kind of when Summer and I got into bearding, and that's one of the deals that when we formed the club, Angela, Alba, um, and I really kind of brought the club out, and that was one of our big purposes, is to get women to participate and get men to participate as well. Whether they had a beard or didn't have a beard, they can make, craft beards.
Well, I told my husband that he was going to identify as a woman for 15 minutes on stage if he did a craft beard.
And, a lot of the comps still call it a Whiskerina category, and they do sometimes have a men's craft. But the whole, and people, Whiskerina, it really doesn't matter. But when we chose the club name, we wanted to use craft just so we could encompass everything: kids, men, women,
I like
the whole picture. And we could get that. We just really wanted to bring that bigger into the community. And I think when we first started the club, we had ideas. Man, it was really weird because the first actual meeting was February, right before COVID hit March. And we had all these great ideas about what we were going to do, kind of going around helping clubs, just this whole kind of physical presence. And then poof, a month later, it's like, you're not going anywhere. And so we had to kind of step back and say, well, we don't want to lose the momentum. And so we flipped. We went to everything virtual. And I think we did a really good job. And we've carried over some of that into now some of the live competitions with the Craft Whisker Battle, which, if you guys don't know what that is, whether it be online or in a live competition, it's you are given a bag or a box of items, at least 5, and you have an hour to build a craft beard. And then it's kind of who wins. You still get judged. It's still a category. And
are all the contestants given the same thing?
Yes. So when we're online, it's only 2 people. Right. Yeah. It's kind of like we based it a little bit off Chopped, but I'm not saying that officially because we originally we had it named differently, and we had to stop that because we were afraid of getting some infringement issues. But it's the same, when you open that box, then the time starts and you have that hour to actually build a craft beer. And you have to use, typically it's at least 5 things that are in the box or bag. Whoever provides the boxes or bags, depending on how many in it, they can say more. I think we've had one that they had to use 11 in it, 11 pieces. We had 2 sisters do it standing next to each other. The beards for Maddie.
Oh yeah,
and one of the sisters won the trivia at the time we were doing trivia with it, and so she got to pick something to trade. We lost Summer. She got to pick something to trade her sister, so she picked what she didn't want, and she picked something from her sisters that she wanted, and then they had to trade.
That's cool.
So we put some, little fun stuff, little challenges in on some of them. And then, of course, the live, we try to stream it live so that people that aren't at the competition, can see it and make comments and that type of deal. So, I don't know if it would be a category at Great American, but hint, hint. And if you guys are out there watching, it would be really cool to have one at Great American.
One of the things that was a little intimidating for me, in the years before that was that I felt like all the Whiskerinas or all the women that were competing were spouses of the guys with beards. And so it was kind of like that little clique that was happening. And so I had to work past that. And I realized there's women that, my husband's clean shaven, bald, clean shaven. And there's other women that are the same way, that are like, nope, they do the competitions. It's not even about their husband.
Yeah. Jiggy's an example. We have actually quite a few women that are involved in bearding now that do compete. And it's very much this. One of the other things and Jiggy, interrupt me because I feel like I'm doing all the talking, but one of the big things was that we wanted to make sure that we were supportive. I think historically that hadn't been the case. It was not a really supportive.
Apparently, as we came in, because we started at the same time, just like coming up like 4 years almost.
Yeah.
And apparently, before that, man, I wish we don't do that. We don't play like that. We're all competitive, but we've already made our beards. We're there. What do you gain by sabotaging somebody? Like,
yeah,
who does that nonsense? Like, that's just, so to me, it just doesn't. And so, yeah, we're like mind and found there's some girls that were in it before that have told us stories. They're still around, and they're part of how we grew. And no.
Yeah.
So it's super supportive. Couple of things. It was kind of taboo to reuse a beard, and we've all kind of just bashed that idea out of the water because you spend a lot of money making a beard, and you spend a lot of time making a beard, and especially I think the online competitions really pushed that because you could reuse a beard. Honestly, there's a couple I've used 2 times, 3 times even, because you don't have time to actually make the beards. Especially, like I said, the online was a totally different world of competing, and like I said, it can get expensive to actually make a beard. So the taboo around reusing a beard, there are a lot of people that still just don't want to, and that's a really personal preference.
Power to you.
Yeah. But,
I'm all for it. Go for it. Like, you don't want to redo it. You want to make one every single time. Go for it. But unless you want to finance me, worry about yourself.
Yeah.
Well, and so many of the women, it's not even just a beard, it's a full-on costume. And you're building a character, not just the beard.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I want to see some of these guys go into character. And
some of them do. And the thing is they redo that time and time again.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how it even, and they have their same but they have their same beards or their same goatees or whalers.
Yeah.
And they compete with the same thing. We're changing it up somewhat, but still.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of concept. And there's a lot of times I'm learning to reuse costume parts. I might use a shirt from there. Yeah. And but that's a huge thing that at least Summer and I and majority of the people really enjoy about it, because you create that beard, but you create the whole, I don't know. It's more than just the costume or just the beard. It's this whole, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
we went to, it was probably just a few days before we have Deseret Industries, which I think is equivalent to Goodwill in a lot of places. And that's all. I was like, what can I put together as a costume and make it all happen? So
a lot
It
of
was
people
so
will
much
like
fun.
thrift some out or
Mhm.
Now, Yukon, that's not true.
well, but he's not technically wrong. You
He's
know,
not technically wrong.
I
But
roomed with Barefoot. We traveled to Texarkana and I roomed with him and I opened my suitcase and he opened his suitcase and I look over and I was like, that man has 16 pair of underwear for one night. His entire rolling suitcase was full of Speedos. And he does do a Speedo and he had other stuff with it, but I was like, man, he brought more drawers.
it's costume change for him.
He didn't wear it at all because there was children and he was asked to not necessarily be himself and
Aw.
but it was funny. It was a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh yeah, the Christmas one.
But yeah, so men's Speedos are
Yeah, and a lot of the men actually do dress up. I mean, my husband loves. I mean, he's serious about his costumes. I say costumes, but what he wears, he thinks it out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
This is the man when we went on our honeymoon on a cruise. He refused to even buy a pair of dress pants to go to the formal night. No, hell no.
To a beer competition though.
Now he's got a tuxedo. Okay, so yeah.
My husband will win a twerking competition on a cruise ship, but he won't do a beard competition.
I'm going to build one.
Yeah,
I know that at the competition with the Unknown Beardsmen, they did have a couples category.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting because like one couple was two women, one beard was made out of rocks and one beard was made out of rolls, so they were rock and roll.
Oh.
And that was cute because there was
bald-headed and doesn't have facial hair.
What's that?
You said your husband's bald-headed and doesn't have facial hair?
Yeah.
Girl, I got you for a couple. I didn't do anything but get up on stage with that bald head, that bald
face. I always tell him his beard's just below his shirt collar. He's got a pretty hair.
Say my beard is tucked.
But that's the cool thing too. And Summer just said she has an idea. We're also sounding blocks for each other,
Well, I was going to ask, where do you guys come up with a lot of your ideas?
Well, my last one that I went to was in Phoenix, Arizona. Like it's been like 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was already in Facebook jail and it's coming up. So. My idea came from their logo, and it was a last minute kind of thing that I wasn't really going to compete, but I'm really glad I did because that trophy was bomb. There's a few trophies that I have gone out for. Most of the time, I'm like, I don't care. Sometimes I'm like, I really want that trophy. But one of the other girls that I competed against, she had made one for an online comp, and the time was cut off before she got her submission. There was some technical issues online. I saw it. I was like, girl, take those pictures down. Don't even compete. Do that again. Do it again, And so she and I went head to head, and honestly, she might want to edge me out, but the wind knocked her mustache loose a little bit. I mean, I tried with I'm standing in front of her blocking, and we're trying to get it fixed. It was hot and windy, so it was really kind of tough on us. But she went all out. It was super, super cute. But then 2 creative girls, I talked to one online, and she was on Lorianne. And when she showed me her idea, she's like, it's dumb. You're going to laugh at it. Don't laugh at it. I was like, she showed me. Seriously jealous. Like, I was like, like she nailed it. Was the bearded lady, and she had all these baby dolls with beards. It was perfect. I thought it was but we're all in there, and then the other lady was the lady I stayed with, and we made hers out of just some leftover decorations. She did gnomes, and then we did a little bow for the mustache, and it was just real simple, little short beard. It was cute. Um, but we're all in there helping each other, like getting each other glued up, cutting
Yeah.
off. We had 2 glue guns between us. Some of us traveled. I couldn't travel with scissors, but Lorianne, she came with a full case of everything, which was cool because it was like
That's
her
cool.
third. She hadn't competed in forever, but yeah, she's super crafty. But like that to me is really what it's all about. Like,
Yeah. And I think we've had the whole discussion too before of, do you get your inspiration, like, do you go with the theme of the competition, or, and some of them don't really have themes per se. Like Mobfest 5 was the first time they had a theme.
right.
So a lot of it too, I look at, if they don't have a theme themselves, I look at, is there something going on in that city at the same time, or what's kind of historically, what's the city about, or,
Right.
I have this one beard I've been dying to make for years, and I got the idea from a picture in the Mexican restaurant here, of all places. Um, and Kasi this year in Austin was the perfect theme, and I couldn't go because I had to work.
And you'd have been the only one with that, but I'm glad you didn't because she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna judge," or "I can't make that comp." Like, I really am upset because I do like it. We compete against each other really well, and I like standing in line with her because it's just fun.
Yeah,
But,
we're rowdy.
yeah, one I had to like preface some people with what I was gonna do because I was like, I'm about to blow some hair back real quick. So this is what I'm gonna do. I don't want to shame you, but I really didn't want to be up against her and Cassie. No.
Well, and that's the hard, like, deciding. So, like, I focused on I was there to support Continue Mission. And so, like, our colors are red, black, and white. And so I just feathers of red, black, and white.
Nice.
I couldn't breathe the whole night because I kept
Someone had a feather. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's probably not a good idea. But that's like, I always wonder, like, is there a boundary of, I mean, like, is it a funny thing? Are people going to read this the right way? Or if I do this, are they going to understand? So,
Yeah, and I struggle with that because in my head it totally relates to that, and I'm got to where I was so picky about having everything just be accurate based on the information, and I have to kind of reel it back and say, okay, most people don't know that. And so if I worry about it, it's not going to be relevant, or if I do that, it's not going to be relevant. I try to reel it back and say, oh, okay, well, the public is going to see this or think, that. But a lot of people also do themes like for what the charity is, or the colors. Mopfest was a huge example because it was Mardi Gras. So just about every beard, summer was an exception, but just about every beard was Mardi Gras.
Before
they
dead set. I had my costume. I had all the bits and pieces and the parts and the idea, and I was like, no, sorry.
Yeah. So, I definitely, just talking to you guys, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, first place is mine next year.
And it is so fun. So, at y'all's, forgive me because I don't know too much about it. Did y'all have a creative and a split?
Yes, for the women's, they did have a creative and a realistic, and when they handed out they don't have trophies, they have plaques that are like burned. They're made out of wood, and then they're burned in, like, somebody took their and there was some kind of mix up because I ended up with their realistic plaque.
Oh, that happens.
We can't trace down the person that has mine, so it's crazy.
Who was that?
But I don't know who won the realistic.
Just a base cow.
Um,
We might complain.
yeah, I think I know.
I know Meg was.
How many is that though?
She had a mustache, and I swear it looked like it was real. Like
So realistic. You got
Like
second place.
No, I got realistic creative. I don't know who
Okay,
the
and
real.
you need the person who got second realistic.
Yeah.
That's Pam Johns.
Oh, his mom.
Yeah, she's in our chat, Mandee, that I sent. So you can ask her if she ended up getting the plaque and if y'all need to switch. She's there at Salt Lake.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
at least y'all are all cool and stuff.
Yeah. So you can ask her in that chat that we added you to. You can ask her.
Okay.
So yeah, that was Pam that got second in realistic.
Yeah,
So-
it was just the Meg was the girlfriend of one of the veterans from Continue Mission, and I stood next to her and I was like, I don't see glue. I mean, it literally looked like it was coming out of her lip. I was like, oh my gosh, did you like place each hair?
We had a girl at Mob Fest 5. It was her second time. Okay, it's her first time as a Whiskerina. Her second time to compete. Her first time to compete was during our craft battle at You Matter. But she did realistic. And when this chick came out, I tell you what, she nailed it.
Once you got past the whole costume reveal.
Well, yeah, that had me floored, but she was in the room with me, so I got to get a hold of all of that. And so she did a tribute beard for Barefoot, which is somebody that's in the bearding community, and he does chops. And he's the one I stayed in the hotel with.
Yeah, the Speedos.
The Speedo. She does this whole Speedos thing, and she has his chops, and man, her confidence but
she pulled it off. I mean, because I judged, and let me tell you, her beard was on. I mean, I couldn't.
I was like, dude, you gotta take that to like Great American or National, like, like that.
Mhm.
She just blew me away. So
Yeah, her beard was on point. I mean, that was
there you go. Snow killed it. Yeah, that's her name.
yeah, her name is Snow. But she
That's
did.
right.
I mean, number one, her beard just was freaking awesome. And number two, the courage she had to come out there and
Speedo.
basically a Speedo and a bra and
Yeah, she was
flash. Yeah, I mean, the original was like, oh my God, you just, what are you wearing? And then it was like, oh, okay, well,
so impressed. Like I teared up. Like I had that proud moment, like seeing somebody come out of their shell and everything. I love that. I mean, like I'm okay.
And that's kind of how I felt. Like it was so interesting because I come from a very like loud, obnoxious family. We're all stage hogs, I guess. But like I really was so intimidated in the years past, and I think it was a combination of being so exhausted with finishing my master's degree that I just was like, I just want to cut loose. I don't care anymore. I don't care what people think. I don't care. I just want to like have so much fun. And it was so funny. Yes, he did.
She called you out.
Well, Jonathan Shields had asked, and I was answering him. But and that's
okay.
But
it is, and congratulations. First off, thank you for your service, and second, congratulations on your master's.
So what was funny is people like I just was, I mean, because I have my beard right there, but
well, let's see it. I didn't see it. Just hold it up.
Before I had on You know those hats they wear in England? Why am I having this?
Or those are French, but
That's right here.
the bird cage. They call them bird cage veils.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fascinators.
And I had on some like tuxedo pants. And I've never in my life used liquid eyeliner or put on my own lashes. And I did them both. I had some bright pink eyes with glitter. I mean, I just totally.
That sounds
I
like my
walked in like
first
that.
makeup shopping experience for competitions. They're called fascinators. That's what they call them. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cute. Okay, super cute. Super cute.
Yes.
So it's falling apart now because all the double stick tape is dried out.
Okay.
But for
And
my
that's-
first time, I was like, okay.
And that's the other thing, too, when you're talking about the double stick tape. Everybody has their tips and tricks, and everybody shares. And it's totally a learning experience as you go along because you're like, why didn't I think of that? And
Well, and just using different things, I was like, what am I gonna put beard feathers on? And then how am I gonna put it to my face? And I learned you should let Gorilla Glue dry before you put it to your face.
oh no.
You just absolutely said she's never watched this show.
Yeah.
Never watched this show without telling me you've never watched this show. You said you use Gorilla Glue.
I didn't put it in my hair, thank goodness.
No. On one of our battles, a competitor decided to use a whole bottle of Gorilla Glue to get glitter to stick
And then
on his
They
and
pass out.
he ended up in the ER with a burned esophagus and some lung issues. So
Oh my
that's
gosh.
yeah.
I
So
only laugh because he's okay now. I mean,
yes.
he's okay as he could be, but he makes bad choices anyway. But
that was wrong with him
Ideas
before
were
he
like-
inhaled.
I wanted to
yeah.
make a beard that looked like I wanted to make a beard that looked like a beer bong table.
oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like I can come up with ideas. I just have to figure out how to execute.
Exactly. And that's the other conversation we have. Do you figure out and build your beard first, or do you start with a base and then build the beard on it? So, and we're opposite.
What are your feathers stuck to? Girl, you ain't gonna make either one of us because
No. So I was at my mom's house and I was like, Mom, do you have some felt? And she said, No, I don't think so. I think I got rid of all mine. I said, I was like, okay, let's go in the craft room because I know you have to have something in there. So,
I was like, my first one was on felt. So where are we going with this?
Yeah. I've done one on felt a couple of times.
Like, so where are we going with this? Because
it's actually so it's like a vinyl film that you can put over windows to privatize windows so they have like a smoky look or a foggy look.
Yeah.
She had some of that left over from when I did her windows for her.
Okay.
And I said, well, it's vinyl and tape will stick to it. So
That's good.
Oh, there you go.
And there are ladies that can go into like a hardware store and figure stuff out. Personally, the hardware store does not inspire me.
My mom, okay, so talk about hardware stores is kind of funny. So I was a chef in the Army and I competed in the military culinary arts competitions. And one of the things our team would do prior to going to the competition is we would just have battles where kind of the same thing of like what you're talking about. You just have 10 things in a bag. But what we would do is we would be told like, okay, you have to make a lamb dinner. And like they would tell us, okay, it's a lamb dinner with this kind of sauce. You're having potatoes and this. Nothing on the plate could be food or edible. So your mind races. I will tell you, motor oil looks like demi-glace. You can make so many gravies out of motor oil. I mean, it was that kind of competition because they really wanted to stretch our minds out of the box.
So you had to make it look like food, a particular food, but
Yes.
not with a food, like with just a
Right.
light. Oh, you got
Right.
oh.
Well, I got beer down.
Yeah.
I got beer down.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, it made me stretch my mind. And so my mom always jokes about, like, I will come up with an idea and I will put it together like nobody else because my brain doesn't think like that. And the next thing I know, I'll have something and people will say, "What did you use?" And I'll tell them, they're just like, "What?" I love hardware stores. I'm like, like, even I ran out of red feathers and there weren't any red feathers in my hat. And I walked all over my house just looking like, what could I do? What could I do? What could I do? I'm like, oh, dang, I have red paint. And so I just painted a little bit of red on the white flowers or on the white feathers.
There you go.
So it's just, to me, like, I love that it actually stretches your brain to come up with that creativity. And then not just how to, like, what you're doing, but how you're going to do it. So that's what made it so fun. The idea that I want to do for next year, I'm going to have to do some trial runs.
Well,
I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to pull it off.
I always test everything, see if it's going to stick, what glue's going to hold, and I'll keep
Yeah.
little pieces and, you know, what is it going to look like when I put it on that? You know, I use the plastic embroidery mesh. I've used felt, foam. I use welding wire.
Floral wire works well.
I've used floor wire on the beard, but not as a base. I used a mask on one, and I won't do that again. That was horrible.
Which one was that?
That cat with the gold and black.
Oh, really? Yeah,
That was the way it was combining was just, I didn't like it. And I've used part of the mask.
The mask.
Yeah, I've cut the mask and used it for the cookie.
No, that's like COVID with the mask. I was like, okay, I can compete. Because
we had a battle competitor that used the medical mask for the base.
I think
Paul Kennedy.
Katie did Cajun's girl. I think she did not too long ago. I can't remember which competition.
I think she may have. I know that Paul Kennedy used it on the battle.
Oh, okay.
And there was a winner. It was in Florida a couple of years ago when I judged there, and her whole mask was made out of her whole beard was made out of the mask.
The mask.
Mm-hmm.
I remember somebody doing the toilet paper.
Yeah.
The last time before COVID, there was a girl, she like just put bacon on felt.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even like a full beard. It was just like strips of bacon. I'm like, I think she won just because they wanted the bacon.
Okay, but I tell you the best bacon beard ever. Amanda Eddins from North Texas Beard Alliance. She had a bacon beard and it was huge. And I think it was bacon roses she had. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
She doesn't compete anymore, but if you Google her name or whatever for under Whiskerinas, man, she had some amazing ideas.
Yeah. I was this week or last week, I was trying to figure out, because getting a beard up to Salt Lake City is going to be challenging. And Summer and I talk about it. It's a go big or go home comp. I mean, it's, and I need to up my game. That's all I'm saying. And
I need you not to, okay?
You just do realistic and don't worry about me.
What? I'm doing creative beard, ma'am. Like,
damn it.
Deal.
I'm going to have to go check this out. I'm going to tell the rest of my family, be like, I don't care what you do. I got to go check this out.
You're like, we've already been married and, you've had birthdays for like 89 years. This one.
Catch it 91.
Right? I mean, 90 though. Honest to God.
Well, that's why I was telling my mom. My grandma was saying that she didn't feel well the other day. And I'm like,
We better have your party now.
This may become a celebration of life. Please don't make that happen.
So you're caregiver for your grandmother. I'm a caregiver for my mom. So that's what I've been doing all day. Is that possible?
No. See, I told my mom she's got 6 kids and one of the other ones can take her. Her and my dad. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, now I'm really more interested. I just was starting out of, hey, I want to support Continue Mission and I want to support Unknown Beardsmen for.
So if you can't make it to Great American, Nationals is in Casper, Wyoming.
In November.
Mid-November. So.
To be in France.
Oh, well.
I'm going to need you to get on board here. I can give dates, and I'm going to leave it up to you to make it happen. Okay.
My gosh.
Priorities here.
No, it's just, to me, it's like, oh, this is an opportunity to be creative and have fun, and I would love to get to know more, because like I said, I felt so out of place because a lot of them are just the wives of husbands with beards. So I felt out of place, but now.
Like, she's way cooler than her old man.
I what?
Way cooler than your old man.
Well, there are some people that would disagree.
Well, he's like your brother, so.
But don't tell him because he's not watching, I don't think.
Yeah, he hasn't said anything.
He's at work. They
started doing it quietly.
He would say something at this point if
he doesn't do. He's not quiet.
No. if having Summer just said, then he would definitely have popped up a comment by now. Yeah.
Bubbles.
Yeah. He's at work. They started their big outage today, so they got hiring different shifts, and
so all his friends that are watching are now going to tell him.
Probably it'll come up. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Mr. Shields. I know someone that knows someone, and I'm
That's okay. You can tell him. I have to have my moments when I'm the cool one.
Honestly, it's okay. Like, she's the one.
Yeah. So, and it's one thing that I did enjoy is, when he started competing, I wasn't competing. I was so intimidated. And Jeff Harris, thank you. I was really intimidated. And let me tell you, my first beard, oh my God, somebody should have slapped me before I went on stage. Because it was, well, number one, my costume looked like, I don't know what in the world I thought I was dressing like. It was horrible. My beard was okay for a first beard, but what I looked like, I can't believe no one stopped me from going on stage. But since then, I've learned a bit more. But I do a lot of my things like through computer. I look up stuff and I'm Googling everything and different concepts. And when you're talking about looking for the bacon, I saw the bacon beard because this week I was kind of going through different pictures because trying to get ideas maybe for, not for the same type of beer, but just something that would spark
inspiration,
the creativity, which I have several ideas for beards for Great American, but they're not going to travel. I mean, they just won't travel. They won't. Shipping right now is a joke, It'll
arrive the week after.
Yeah, if that. And, checking any of those beards, it wouldn't work. And theoretically, they would
make a TSA agent's day. I'd be like, what in the world?
It happens.
They are like this.
Yeah. TSA, it is funny because a lot of times it is quite comical, the stories you hear about it.
I have flight stories all the time because of beards.
Mine aren't about beards, but Summer's are.
my beards have been pulled out of my bag and swabbed, and I'm like, it's salt. You're gonna mess it up.
See, Summer gets her beards, double checked out, and I get kicked off planes. So
yeah, like I've never been kicked off a plane. I've
Yeah.
had to consume a lot of stuff in line.
But yes, I get the Whiskerina who's gotten kicked off a plane award. So,
Oh my goodness.
but it wasn't my fault. I'm just saying that too. So,
No, I definitely like I don't know. I'm inspired. I want to go
Heck
find
yeah.
out more.
There's
I'm gonna be-
definitely a lot in your so check out the beard calendar, and there's going to be comps.
Oh yeah, they like I didn't even realize it was so interesting because I think this last competition was the first time I'd ever heard that. I thought it was all just one beard club that was there, and there's like 5 or 6.
mhm.
I was like, oh my gosh.
My club, we have a chapter in Utah. That's not my region, so I don't really know too much, but I know he goes to competitions. But I don't know where he lives, like in reference. He did say I could ship my beard to him.
John's
No. Somebody from Mob, Brandon Barnes.
Oh
Yeah, Pam had told me I could ship my beard too, and
Yeah, man.
I mean, if I go big, it's not going to fit in a carry-on. It's just
I have a mob patch. Where'd it go?
I think I'm gonna girl, I got a freaking box over here of Amazon air bubble wrap, and I'm just gonna have to check it. But I was gonna fly from here to Colorado, stay there for a couple of days, and leave my mom there, and then shoot over to Salt Lake, and then go back. But that's 2 plane trips with that beard. Not this girl.
yeah. I have another idea, and I think it'll work and it will travel well, but it's definitely not going to fit in a checked bag or in a carry-on. So
I'm all trying to figure out what you're doing.
Just be like those international people who have like 20 duffel bags and big old boxes that they take packing tape and make a handle out of.
Yeah, airlines, they jacked up them carry-on prices, and now they can't even, the bag can't even weigh very much, like 40 pounds. I'm like, I put 40 pounds in my
they've always been 50.
No,
trying to,
because
that's what I cycle, and trying to ship your bike or even travel with your bike is.
I have awards. Well, they're stuck in Arizona now. I got one in Nevada, and my friends carried it to California, and they were going to ship it, but then they came to the Arizona comp, so they just drove it. So now it's located. And I'm like, Papa Deuce told me he had mailed so at the last one, I got a big, huge cow skull, decorated cow skull. And he said he mailed one years ago, and it was over $100. I said, y'all will drive through Texas. I can be patient. Because that's just one thing. And I have 4 things there because my dumb ass entered the raffle and won some big items. Like, what was I thinking?
I wasn't there to Jiggy.
How are we gonna get that?
I don't know. I think I actually look. I'm gonna blame I entered the raffle after I won the trophy, so I was already committed to some postage. That's what I'm gonna say.
So by the time the award ceremony, like the award portion of it, you were probably pretty, happy.
Oh man, before we get started, I'm like that.
I know, that's what we took wine with us, and I was like, well, he kept saying, well, which do you want to take? I said, I don't know, you take whatever you take, and I'm taking this. He's like, no, let's just take one bottle.
No. Wine? I don't drink wine.
One for you, one for me.
Ain't sure.
See, that's the thing. All my idiocy is actually sober because I'm allergic to brewer's yeast and I can't drink anymore. So if I'm an idiot, I can't blame it on anything except me.
I have perfected the art of acting drunk and being so sober. My friend, well, that's like at the competition. We got there early because I wanted to sit. They reserve a table for continue mission, but it's not a very big table. And I wanted to sit at that table. And so we went early and people didn't show up till later. And I was acting silly and goofy, but it had nothing to do with the amount of alcohol. It was just like, I'm having fun. I'm excited to be here. And what better place to make an ass of myself? I mean, it's okay.
and Summer and I have been known to do that together.
It's funner sometimes.
Speaking of
you got in trouble.
Oh, hey, butter. Why aren't you tuning in? Thanks for the support, Shannon Klinkenbeard. Hey,
I left home at 4:30 this morning. I just got home.
okay, I left home at 9:45 this morning, and I didn't get home until after 5, and I had to do traffic. And I don't even.
You being from Texas, you'll understand this sentiment perfectly.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
So yes, that's the husband.
Oh wait, Shannon.
Wait, Shannon. Whatever Jonathan Shields tells you is a lie.
Absolutely. But look,
They're baby cans.
I need some glasses.
I know they're so tiny.
They're, it's dark in here. I can't find it.
What am I looking at?
They're baby Mick Ultra.
Babies.
See?
So they're the standard Michelob Ultra diameter, but they just made them shorter.
Yeah.
So they were already skinny cans. Now they're short and squatty skinny cans.
Yeah.
Wow. Makes your hand look bigger.
I know. I was like, man, is that what them guys do? Be like, this is not.
I'm gonna go.
So yes, that's my husband. He is actually part of What Up Mob Wednesday. So Monday and Wednesday were whoever Facebook user is, we're doing awesome. Well, it is after 8 and we try to end by 8 o'clock. But Mandee, we would love if you would come join us again anytime.
I definitely will. This is fun. I want to get to know more people.
Hell yeah.
Spread outside my.
We're just as well. I don't say we're as goofy as you because I don't know you that well yet. But
I can be as goofy or less goofy or more goofy.
Well, good.
Depending on what's needed.
Yeah, and we're kind of that way. It just like
I'm always like
I'm
this.
more serious if I'm judging you, of course.
I'm not.
You know.
Well, as a judge, I'll ask you another time.
No, you can ask.
I was gonna say, as a judge, what the heck are they looking for?
Different judges, different things.
Because that's the thing. It's like,
okay, so here goes this. That's going to be our topic for next week.
Yeah,
sounds good.
Who's me?
What are judges
Let's do
looking
that.
for?
There we go.
what are we looking for?
We always
And
need
like
a
I said,
like beforehand. So, and I'm in jail, so I'm going to need y'all to do some social media things, okay?
I got it covered. But yeah, we'll talk about it next week. If you want to be on the show, you like I said, let me know. You're more than happy to, or you're more than welcome to. I hope you're happy to.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm pumped and excited now. I gotta go check out all this information.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
tag one of us.
What we're looking
You have
for.
both of us Messenger now, so you can tag either one of us, and we'll listen or point you to if we know somebody's done some, I don't know, mechanical piece to a beard or something to a beard.
I'm like, I want you to do the freaking beer pong table.
Yeah.
I have to see this.
Mhm.
So I'm holding you to this, okay?
Mhm. Yeah.
Like I'm holding
No
you.
pressure.
No
Not at
pressure.
all.
Let me make my list now. Beer pong.
Isn't that what you said? You want to do a beer pong?
Yeah, I do, but this other
I
idea,
have-
I don't really want to.
I have ideas on my cork board over here, but I went to look at them, and I think half of them are just the costume. It doesn't say anything about the beard. It's all costume stuff. It's like, what was I thinking? Obvious about costumes. All right. Well, Mandee, thank you once again for joining us tonight. We really enjoyed it. And
I've enjoyed
welcome
it too.
to bearding. So,
Yeah.
Thank you.
So again, I'm Tisha Clinkenbeard, aka Mrs. Chicken Bread, president of the Craft Whisker Club. You can join us every Monday night here on Talking Beards Network. We're the Monday night show, so the Craft Whisker Club show. We do have some people that have signed up for the battle, so we'll be bringing. We have at least 4 contestants for 2 different battles, so we'll be getting some dates for that coming up.
Yeah.
And let's see, Jiggy.
Yes. The VP.
It's
past my bedtime. Y'all know it's not. Vice President of the Craft Whisker Club, Vice President of Beer Mom North Texas.
And then tomorrow night on Talking Beards Network, you've got Talking Beards with Aaron and Scott.
Yep.
Wednesday night, Swat Up Mob Wednesday, and it's Monty Boo, Mr. Chicken Bread. And then Thursday, I think it's Beard Laws.
Yeah, Beard Laws. But I think
it's Beard Laws.
The other shows are paused.
Mm-hmm.
Friday is Fogs and Fab Horn and Chicken Wing.
And or whoever shows up with Fabs.
Right.
Let's see. And I don't think you need, right now, nothing on Saturday. Is Sunday Room Green? I think. Anyway, check out Talking Beards for all this information that I can't remember.
Yeah, the boys, that's what they're there for.
Yeah. And also, I put in here the beardcalendar.com so you can go see what competitions are out there. They all, or I say 90% of them have a link to either like an event or a web page that you can go click on that to get more information. So it's not just the actual what's going on that weekend. It does have information about location and club, but it also typically has a link where you can go find out more. And I know you can get it pulled down on your phone into an app, but I don't remember how to do that. So again,
I did it. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Well, I've done it, but I can't tell you how I did it. That's called old age. So, All right, you guys. Again, Mandee, thanks so much for your service.
Thank you.
And for all that you do. And welcome to bearding. And it's a hell of a lot of fun. And I try not to curse on live.
Oh my God, that's not a cuss word.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. And we'll talk to you guys next Monday. All right.
Bye-bye.